All right, everybody, we are live. Thank you once again for joining me on this edition of Sense8 Symposium for number 6 we're on now. And we've got a pretty stacked panel today of our guests, and we're going to go into episode 5, Art is Like Religion. But first of all, we've got some new faces and some traffic as well. But
Yeah.
Gabriel, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, since you're the new face here.
Gabo?
Nice to meet you all. My name is Gabriel. You can call me Gabo if you like.
Okay.
Central America. I'm 29 years old. I'm studying finance. I work also for IBM.
It's like religion, but first of all,
And well, I have 4 siblings.
traffic as well. But
Yeah.
why is there like a feedback?
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, that was weird. That there was like a repeat. Does everyone have their headphones in?
Gabriel,
Oh my god.
you can call me Gabo if you like.
Okay.
Oh no.
I'm 29 years old.
Okay, we can't help but laugh at this. This is kind of funny in a way.
What's that?
So we have this with our own play as it's happening. That's
I know, like it's like live instant replay or something. I don't know what.
Oh my god, I so love this.
Since when do we upgrade to like the NFL or like the. All right. Anyway, so we can try to move on from that. So actually, with episode 5, we have quite a bit to talk about today, and a lot of notes I personally took. If I can find them, yeah. So the first major thing that I took note of here, of course, that we must talk about is the Sun-Leto connection with the PMS.
Yeah.
of course.
How great was that?
What did you guys think?
Oh well. If we're gonna talk about the mustache, then let me put my mustache on.
Yeah, you gotta get that going.
I have to. The mustache.
She has the villain mustache courtesy of Google Hangouts somewhere.
I don't know.
I think it was pretty funny. I think at the beginning I was like, what's happening with Leto? Why is he being so weird? And he was obviously saying how, he's feeling a bit bloated today. And you're sort of thinking, what's that about? And then it flicks to Sun, and you realise that Sun's obviously, it's that time of the month. So he's feeling it all, and I just remember laughing so loud because it was just, that actually realising that they do have that connection with everything. They feel what each other feels all the time. So I thought that was pretty funny.
It's like, hello, a male can feel what we're feeling.
Yeah.
And not only that, it was the first time I think that we saw where, because when Sun and Leto, they see each other like passing through the mirror or whatever, it's like she speaks in Korean, he's speaking Spanish, and then like they're like, oh, we can understand each other. So that was kind of like the first. That was like the first hint of that happening, which happens actually a lot later, several times in the episode too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, the first time I watched it, and a lot of people have already told me this, I didn't notice why Leto was behaving this way, and I know a lot of people who didn't notice the first time they watched.
I
but
didn't.
I realized it the second time I watched, and every time I watched it again, it got funnier and funnier because the scene, you just notice these details, and the first time you realize why Leto is behaving this way, it just hits you. You start laughing like crazy.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's like, this is genius.
I didn't notice either to the first time that I just thought he was erratic, like Lito being Lito, you know, like I don't know, because
Yeah.
he's such a drama queen since episode
Oh,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
he's already like that already, right? So you're like,
yeah.
oh, just more Alito, you know?
And then when he was saying, you know, there is this Korean woman, you know, screaming and all that, and I was like you have to see it again. Just to, like when I saw the second time, then I just realized, oh, this, you know, this is the PMS thing.
And it's
it
actually, oh, go ahead.
it affected everything. I mean, he couldn't even work because he could not control it. I guess, you know, he couldn't control his emotions enough to actually be able to act out his scenes and everything like that. And I was laughing and just thinking, that's right, that's what we go through every month, and we've got to keep it together. And Lito can't handle it at all.
And then to build on that scene, it's one of my favorite quotes, or one of my favorite sequences in that, when the director's really trying to psych him up. He's like, "Come on, you're Tino El Caído," and he's like, "Okay." And then the tear coming down.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I just realized that all beauty is temporary. Decay and death haunt every breath we take." And then the director's like, "Come on, Lito, decay, death. What is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the best part, if you ask me, in that scene was the actress who played Tino El Caído's girlfriend, how she was coming down the stairs and she was just doing the sexy walk, coming to her boyfriend and suddenly looking like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's so cute. Like the way he was crying at her for being so beautiful. I thought that was quite cute. And then the director comes up and's like, tears are not hot. Tears are not sexy.
Yeah.
I was like, tears are kind of sexy if it's for the right reason.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Lito, take 5," and he's like, "No, I can't.
Yeah.
Oh man. And then of course on top of that is the infamous car sequence after that.
Yeah.
Of course. Where's Claudia with her mustache when you need her?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah.
She ran away with her
Everyone's
mustache.
disappearing.
Huh.
Well, when you fall in love, what do you do?
Yeah. Vindy's gone too.
Or at least muted apparently.
Yeah.
Is it just us now? Huh.
It is,
yeah,
it
at the
is.
moment. But
Okay.
yeah, the car scene, just in traffic, just the way he's talking to Hernando on the phone, and you're like, what must he be thinking? He must be thinking that, you know, Lito has lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's saying how he feels so terrible, and he feels like he's got cancer in his stomach, and you know.
Cancer runs in my family, Hernando.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being a Nando on the other side of that phone call, because he must be going like, he has finally lost his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lito went loco, you know? But yeah, it's like, not only that, Hernando could do absolutely nothing, so that made it even worse. It's like, what can you do? It's like,
yeah, well, he was trying to talk him down and calm him down, but that doesn't work when Lito is PMSing.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
and
man.
then the cars pulling in front of him, he was not happy about that.
Oh, you did not!
It's hard enough to be cut off in traffic as it is.
That's right.
You know, and
being
in that kind of state and driving at that would be crazy. He was completely losing it, and I think we all would be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we could have pulled off the ICU villain as quite as nicely as he did it, but I imagine it would be something along those same lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've obviously seen Brian do it.
Yeah.
How he's
Yeah.
yeah. I thought that was hilarious.
And then one of the other major ones was the first time that Wolfgang's uncle confronts him, sort of, in the house. You know, I loved how they did that scene in the sense that you could feel the tension underneath.
Oh, yeah.
They're still, you know, polite and stuff to their faces and everything, but you could just feel that, like, I know what you did, kind of a thing, throughout that whole exchange. You know, and then
But
like
he
the way.
didn't.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, well, just with the way that he tossed in that line about it would be an irony of Shakespearean proportions if the son cracked the same safe that fucked the father, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think the tension was really important to the episode and to what followed later, because when his uncle is threatening him, it's in a much more concealed way than what happens later with Steiner, and it's like this. I think I know what you did, but I can't really prove it, so I'm just gonna, you know, as Felix later said, he's just shaking
the trees, yeah.
Yeah, just trying to figure it out.
He doesn't outright come out and accuse him of doing it. It's sort of in a backhanded way. It's sort of suggested that I know what you did, but it's not outright accusing him. And of course, with Wolfgang not admitting and saying yes, he just says, "I'm not as stupid as my father."
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was well done.
That is definitely true, because if he was as stupid as his father, he wouldn't have been able to crack the safe.
Right.
That's one thing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And then, to build on that point, I do like that contrast of styles between, you know, his uncle's kind of veiled way of doing it and Steiner just all up in his face. You stole my diamonds, you know? So there's definitely that harsh contrast between the... They pretty much would go to the same end goal, but just the different ways that they go about getting there was really nicely done.
Yeah,
it sure was.
All right. Yeah. And what did you think about... I think this was also the first time that we saw the interaction between Riley and Capheus.
Oh yeah, that one. I really did love that scene. It really touched me in a way of like these two people meeting for the first time and just having this real connection over something so simple.
Yeah.
And of course, Capheus is so excited, as usual, to be in a different country, which is so cute.
Harry Potter, the Queen, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to see that joy, you know? And then, especially considering what he was just about to do, delivering that backpack to who knows where, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then, did you guys have any doubts once the package was, I guess, stolen back, that he would be able to retrieve it again?
Yeah, I was really worried about what was going to happen with them. I was kind of worried that he was going to find them and try to take it back, and they would really hurt him. So I was worried about that quite a bit.
Yeah.
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 Calling for the spirit of Jean-Claude
Korean lady.
Yeah.
Right before the epic fail on the Ban Chan.
Yeah. He definitely got his ass kicked.
But in a way, I do like what Kabaka did, because like how he had to test him, you know, to make sure he was the man he needed. And I had a feeling that that bag probably had something fishy in it, but then he's like, if you could risk your life for 2 pairs of coconuts, you're the man I need, you know? I was just like, okay, it's on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose cat is that?
That's mine.
Definitely, I was thinking definitely not mine.
Yeah. What? I don't have a cat. Where is that?
Exactly. I'm like, going, sure, I don't have a cat.
Weird. None of the Sensei have pets, right?
Well, Sun does.
Oh, Sun, yeah,
did.
Sun has a
But,
dog, yeah.
Yeah,
we see what happens to her dog this episode.
yeah.
Yeah,
But,
that was really sad.
Another connection too was between when Kala is doing her like body painting thing.
Oh yeah, the
And
henna
then-
thing.
Yeah, and then what do you call that? One thing I picked up, I actually didn't pick it up on the other previous 4 times I watched it, but then when Kala moves and the mom's like, "Don't move," and then they cut to the scene with Sun and her instructor in the graveyard. He's like, "Don't move," you know. So it's just like those small connections that are like really like whoa.
Yeah, that's right.
Hello, guys. I'm here again.
Welcome
You're
back.
back.
Welcome back.
Sorry, I have some connection issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm back here.
Welcome back.
Cool.
Thank you.
What are the connection when she was with the painting?
Yeah, with the painting and then the going to Sun with her her Tai Chi or whatever it is she's practicing. I don't know.
Mm. Is it Taekwondo? No.
Might be. Yeah.
Maybe Taekwondo, I think. How is it that Cafius call her? The
Spirit of Jean-Claude Korean lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. They come up with so many clever things.
Yeah. Good writing.
Mhm.
And then there was also another one with, of course, with back in San Francisco when Amanita does that "impossibility is only a kiss away from reality" speech.
Yeah.
And then what did you guys think of that quote first of all? Because
Um,
that's definitely one of the top quotes from this show.
I think I should go around and start kissing everyone.
Tony,
Because I want my husband.
if
Make
I do
as
that,
ma-
what Tony sexual harassment case straight away. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just trying to make as many realities as possible right now.
Gotta be into win, right? No, I thought it was a really good line. I mean, I think I really love Amanita's character. I think she's just so supportive and so open to anything, and just believes fully in Nomi and what she's seeing and what she's going through, and is just so supportive, and that line's just it's a really good line. Love it.
I find it quite interesting because it sort of reminded me of the scene between Will and Riley, when they both kissed for the first time. So
was that when the partner was like, "The fuck you doing?"
Yeah,
Marcy?"
yeah, exactly. So it
Yeah.
sort of reminded me of that.
Yeah, that was
like
great.
he was kissing the air, like.
So it's like, what is reality there? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they're in two different places. So yeah, it just reminded me of that scene. Because you would think, is this even possible? You doubt it. And when they kiss each other, then you go, okay, this is real. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just like I don't like if this really happens to you in real life, like the way it happened to them, how would you react? How those people around you is gonna react? Like for me, they reacted really none of them really kind of panicked like a lot, right? Like I'll panic myself, like I'll just think I'm crazy. Like the only one I think was Nomi on the episode 2, but then the other ones were kind of cool. Like let's say Lito, Wolfgang, they didn't say it to the other people like the other ones, like they acted like everything was cool. Like I didn't see too many connections from them. so they
Oh.
can communicate with the other people and tell them that, this is happening to me, like the other people did, That's why I just think they were very cool with that. Like they didn't really.
Yeah.
Should I call you Claudia?
Claude, whatever.
Okay, it's so funny because now if something like this happens to us in real life, which it probably won't, and it won't.
I was looking forward to that.
If it does, we're gonna go. Oh yeah, we know what's happening now. We're sending other people.
Yeah, we're senseis. What the heck?
Yeah. I've had that horrible migraine. Now I know where I got it from.
No.
Oh, by the way, I'm just drinking this blueberry tea, and I hope you can enjoy that with me.
Yeah. It's like a memory.
It's so funny, right? Like right now, after the show, I wish I could sensate so many times. Like if I'm going through something, you know how, like you have a difficulty in your life or whatever. Sometimes you react to certain things different depending on your character or your personality. So at that time, a specific time, you wish, okay, I wish I was this person, like, or why can't we just sensate or whatever? But it's just it brings a lot of things to our life. Like what happened to me this week, like. I was telling people, okay, send me good vibes, and I felt like people was with me at that moment when I was doing,
That's awesome. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like you can actually not as a sensei, but you can have people being connected to you in this way. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, and we can connect with so many people, from different places, and I think it's because of the show. How the show has connected us all, like
for sure. Like it's very interesting. I think the whole cafe scene was. I should stop using the word interesting. Okay, that's my sworn promise today. It was quite good because it showed. When he actually said, "Oh, can I get the Jean-Claude Korean lady help me out?" She didn't come to his rescue. But he showed some sort of bravery still, he still went after it. He threw the brick, he got the backpack, and it was a very crucial scene to just go, you know what, just because he's asking for aid, he's not going to necessarily get it. He's brave in some other form, So, it was quite good. It showed that he has, even though he didn't get the aid of the other sensei, he's still brave in his own way. So it might come in handy.
And to kind of build on that point, I think you're right in the sense that like you wouldn't want to get everybody so expecting that they're gonna get help as soon as they need it, So it's a part of like realizing what skills you have in yourself or what strength or where you can pull it out from to still accomplish your goals, even if sun's sleeping and soul and whatever, And so I think that was really an important thing to show that even without Sun, and even after he just got his ass kicked by those guys, he was still able to be resourceful enough to come away with what he needed in the end. That was really good.
Yeah, and it probably Volvi might know, like, Sun could have texted him going, "Man, I'm sleeping, like, go and fight him yourself."
Or they could have FaceTimed.
Well, they have FaceTime without a phone. So.
Exactly.
I think it's pretty amazing how this show show us like a reality, because we are doing exactly the same they are doing right now. And it is amazing because because they're showing us our reality, what is happening right now, but in a most advanced way to show it. I mean, the show affect everything in my life. I mean, it changed a lot to me, and I mean, it's pretty amazing having this conversation with you guys. I mean, it's awesome how a show can connect too many people.
That's right.
And just every week I'm just glad to have all you guys here because it started out as a really small idea, and we didn't think we'd get it off the ground quite as much as we'd like. But then it's just turned out like amazingly, like better than I could have expected to be able to have these conversations every week with different people, the same people, and then it's just like just to be able to have it at all has been a great thing.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Actually, I was thinking, do you know who was the first person that saw Angelica? I think it was Nomi, right? The first one that saw Angelica.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
He fell, right? No.
No, I don't know.
I thought it was it wasn't Riley because Riley actually was at the scene. It was Riley first and then Will, but who did Angelica see? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't think so. That's a good question. Someone Google
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I was just wondering that because I think from my view, I think it was Nomi, the first one that connected with Angelica and saw her like just shooting her.
Her hormones or whatever.
Yeah.
That was, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I thought too, actually. We might have to go back and watch that scene.
Yeah. But I mean, that scene was amazing. I mean, when the first time I saw it, I mean, it was amazing. And the first time that I first see Naomi, I just understood that she was a trans woman when Amarita just came out and said, "Hey, stop saying that about my girlfriend. I punched you in the face." And I was like, "Oh, she wasn't." I got it. That was my favorite part.
Google effects. Did you get your mustache, Claudia?
Right now, that's
I'm waiting for it to
I
make
got
an
it.
appearance.
I was looking for it. I was looking for my mustache.
All right, and actually, this episode is also where we kind of see the first real interaction between Kala Gang. When he's at the bar with Felix and she's upstairs in her bedroom.
I remember the scene.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was great too because again they're both speaking their own languages, but yet we could see how they can understand each other, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was I was watching that episode and then after learning a little bit of German I'm like, oh, I know what he's saying a little bit.
Oh, nice.
The good part is that we actually a little bit don't know what language they were speaking at every moment because I actually didn't realize for a long time, like till the 6th or 7th time I saw this, that the last thing Wolfgang said in that episode was in Hindi. So
Hindi, yeah.
that actually ties in with how Felix walked in on him in the bathroom, just speaking to nobody in a foreign language.
It's like he's just like
he's possessed.
What the fuck language is that?
Actually, one thing that did, just going back a couple of scenes, actually, sorry. One thing that did interest me was when Kathia saw Riley in her apartment. He walked in, he said something to her, and she said, I don't know.
I don't understand. Yeah.
And I was like, what does that mean? That I didn't understand that because I thought they were supposed to understand each other.
Yeah.
So,
that
I found
threw
that
me
quite
off completely, Tony. Yeah. That's why last week I sort of mentioned in regards to this episode. Yeah, that was very interesting. That's why I thought I don't get it. Then give me another thought. Maybe she didn't understand, as in she didn't understand what he was saying because
what he meant as opposed to what he was saying.
meant.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I thought it could have that. It's one of those statements that you can take it any way you want. Like,
Yeah.
it's very smart writing, I reckon. So you can take it as like, hold on, did she understand what he was talking, or did she not understand the
Intent.
text? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
So I
She
rewatched
should
it.
have-
I'm like,
yeah.
So
So
yeah,
she should have actually understood what he was saying,
exactly. So
like the language. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Technically.
I love it when he says love.
Ooh.
Are you
Whoa.
drag racing
Motorbike.
something?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I live near to a road, so so
It was.
you have heard that from Costa Rica, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the whole Harry Potter context too. He just goes, "Oh, Harry Potter," and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, that's so
the first
cute.
that's like the first things that come to mind, right?
Harry
It's like-
Potter."
and then of course there was that bit where he's like, "I'm from Kibera," and he's like, "You're from Africa," and he's like,
No.
Yeah.
Ruby.
No,
"Get
Ruby.
with the program, lady. Come on."
Yeah.
Did you fail geography in school?
Yeah.
Sorry guys, but did we discuss the part about when Sun and Cafes meet up in the countries, their own countries?
That's actually next on
Not
my
yet.
list.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, before that, we have to talk about the shoot 'em up scene with
Oh,
Lito. Yeah.
Oh,
And
I love
Will.
that scene.
Matrix
I love that scene.
That's the first time that Will says to Leto, "Do I know you?"
Yeah.
He says that to him, and of course he says that to him later, as we know.
It's like, yeah, we will know each other well by that next episode.
In more ways than you know.
Yeah.
Or you would like to know.
Yeah. Wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah. But I think that was an amazing scene, like just the way that it was all set up and everything. I thought it was like, yeah, it was great. Leto was a badass in it.
Yeah. And I feel like that was the closest that we got to like a throwback to the Matrix, That whole scene had like that exact vibe to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, it's the whole reality versus fantasy, because Leto was acting it out and Will was doing it in real life. So
Yeah,
again,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
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 I
but-
don't know if you guys noticed it, but you notice when that happened that what's his name? Will says to Lito at the door, "Do I know you?" It's just like the same. "Do I know you?" On episode 12 again. So I was like, why would they say the same thing? Like when you watch it at the end, they already
It
met.
makes sense.
It already met there, and then they met on episode 12. So I was wondering, well, what was that, like a sleep, like they forgot about that, editing that, or what?
For me personally, I'll have to say, if I met Leto, I would not forget it.
Me neither, actually.
That's something I would remember.
Would that be
You know what?
like a funny joke or something? Because they're stating like he should know who he is.
But
Don't they? Like
the
don't they mention it?
the only other thing I can think about is that's maybe a foreshadowing for the scene later.
Yeah,
It's like-
Could be.
true.
Yeah.
That's how I would think about it.
I'm
Yeah.
seriously there's a Mexican festival that's happening next week here in Melbourne, and I pretty much have gone since it started. So next week I'm gonna go over to guys that look like Leto and go, "Do I know?" How it works. I'll let you know the success rate.
And then you can test out the impossibility and reality thing.
It would be funny if actually someone goes, "Oh my God, you watch Sense8?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm guessing so do you."
Oh yeah,
But that's the thing too, you know, like how in the cluster they know each other. Like when Capheus and Kala met, oh she said something, you're Capheus, right? Like they already knew. That's why that's the only point that I think that I don't think like it makes kind of sense when Will not one time but two times asked the same question. So it's something that is the only flaw that I found on the whole series. Like, you know, like why?
I hear what you're saying, yeah.
It's just weird, and that happened in that episode too.
Yeah.
Unless Lito just blew his fucking brains out.
Yeah.
Demons.
Claude's got a valid point.
One thing I found funny about that scene is about the shoot-up scene is some people's reactions that I'd seen on social media and stuff like that about how how do I say it? They were complaining about the wires that you could see in the scene because they clearly didn't understand what was happening or what was going on, that we were actually watching a film being made. But I'd laugh because it was so funny because people were complaining about the wires and they didn't hide those wires very well and the show's not made very well. I'm like, yeah, are you serious?
I'm not sensing with you anymore.
Yeah, I thought that was quite,
And it's like it just speaks to the way that our culture nowadays is so quick to point out anything negative before understanding, you know? And
absolutely.
It really is it's like a whole view of the show too, because you remember how many negative reviews we were getting within the first 2-3 weeks. It was just insane. And you know, and we still occasionally get them, and it's like from people who barely made it to the 3rd episode, you know. So it's like give it a chance.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. That I was on those IMDb boards, like the first 3-4 days, you know, is when people go onto the IMDb boards to see if other people like the series. You couldn't see any positive thing about Sense8, and I was so mad because I love it so much that I wanted more people to comment and say good things about it. It was so frustrating. Believe me, for 3 weeks I was like that, but then eventually I found the group, and I was, you know, I got my pain away because everybody was loving the show. And then I don't go too much anymore to the IMDb boards, but I see more love for the show as you know, as time goes by. It just took a little bit. It just took a little bit for the show. Not like Narcos. Narcos was released last week. They already renewed it because they had the viewings. They had the viewings. You know, like it's just.
I think it's because of the 2 different concepts. Because Sense8 actually is like you need to be open-minded. I believe compared to shows like Narcos, where you know you got shows like Breaking Bad paving the way for shows like Narcos.
Yes, that kind of show
is so
like
new. It's not even heroes. To be honest, I actually saw previews for Sense8 and I thought, oh my god, it might be sort of like heroes, and I started watching it. But then when I started after the first episode, I'm like, whoa, you really need to be open-minded to
this is
like,
not true.
Yes, I think there was a lot of hesitation by Netflix, but you know what?
Yeah, you knew it wasn't for the narrow-minded. It was
exactly. So Yeah, so I think that's why Netflix was like, do we take this gamble and wait for it to pan out? But you know what? My dad always said, my dad used to be an actor, so he always said any publicity is good publicity, whether it's bad or good. So the fact that people are talking about it is worth talking about it.
Yeah.
Or it's like, you know what? There's some like, if people don't like the show, well, you know what? Thank you at least for talking about it, because you know you find it worthwhile talking about it. So that's why I'm like, yeah, and it's fantastic, Claudia, what you just did. You know, like the whole IMDb defending the show.
Oh, I
Every
was.
little thing makes a difference. So, hey, they renewed it. So, yay.
No, and I knew eventually, like I knew eventually the show, because I used to see all the go to Twitter and see the Sense8 hashtags to see how much people was talking about it. I knew like the show has a lot of audience. It's just that the audience is all over the place. Like we needed to communicate, get together, so we can get the ball rolling. So that's what I knew the show was gonna be big. Like that's why, yes, that's why we had the announcement the way they did it. I think if we haven't come up front as a fandom before, I don't think we were gonna get something like that. I mentioned that to the other administrators at the Sense8 fan, that the reason why we wanted to like get together and show them that there was a fandom was because we wanted to be taken seriously as a fandom, because people wasn't taking Sense8 seriously. To be honest, I was going to all social media. People was always hating on the show, like putting it down, and especially here, as I could feel the love from outside the United States, but in the United States, people was just like, just like, because they were expecting something more like heroes, or like something more, less drama and more action. But I love it, everything of it. Like I
Yeah.
look something different, something, but not everybody likes different.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's very different. It's fresh and it's new. I mean, anybody had never seen that just before, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, and the fans are everywhere. And Claudia said something important here, that some people are just talking about the show, but they don't know much about the show. I mean, they saw the chapters, but that's it.
Yeah.
And I think that Sensei is not for everybody. It's just for a specific people and open-minded people. That's what I'm saying. And we need to see it to understand everything. So.
And I actually like it like that way, because I see a lot of stuff on social media about, oh, my friends don't like the show and I'm sad and all that. Well, I can understand that to a point, but in a way I kind of like that not everybody likes it, or not everybody's jumping on the bandwagon,
I would have responded back with like, get some new friends.
Yeah. If you don't like Sense8, you don't need those.
You don't need them. They're just secretly working for BPO. You don't need them in your life.
Sorry, Evan, I had to say it.
Well played.
Now, it's very interesting we're talking about this, because one of the key moments, I'm going to go off track a little bit, was when Caffey's met Sun. Because this show shows, if you notice, it's about a little bit about globalization. It talks about race. It talks about gender. That scene was, if you notice, it shows like how Nairobi is like a bit underdeveloped, but it's still, it has a long way to go compared to Korea, which is like, in terms of globalization, is way up there, compared with China. And see also the race a bit there as well. Like how if Sun walks down the streets of Nairobi, you cannot tell me no one will notice. So the same thing with Caffey is walking down the streets of Korea, but in that scene, people don't notice. Why is that? Because they're sensating with each other, you know. So it shows that about the whole, you know, like we should accept each other. I think there's also I think there's a bit of a hidden message there in that scene, you know, we should all accept each other for who we are, regardless of race or gender or anything. Yeah, so I'm maybe reading too much into it, but that's
No,
how I
not at all.
that scene. I think it's
like
very like a turning point, you know, we all are different, but we are the same. We speak the same language. We understand each other.
Sensei,
So yeah.
Miguelito.
Yeah, and it also
Max,
talks about the whole gender thing as well. You know, the male, female, the race card, the country, you know, the diversity.
Yeah.
That scene just pretty much covers everything. Like, you know, even about the show, exactly what we discussed, you know, like how some people like it, some people won't. You know, it's just a lot of opposites there, you know, so.
And
I thought
that. Oh, go ahead.
I thought it was really well filmed. Like, I really enjoyed watching that scene with Cappius walking down, and it took me a while the first time I watched it to realize, oh, he's actually walking down the street in Korea, and she's walking down the street in Nairobi, and they're walking towards each other. And the way it was flicking backwards and forwards, it was really interesting. And then when they actually met up, and the camera was panning around them all the time, it was flicking country, like it was flicking in between the two countries. And I just thought it was really well filmed. So yeah.
And
really
I just find it so funny too, because when they ask where, like, Capheus is like, where are you? And then Sun's like, Seoul, like, don't you know I'm in Seoul?
Yeah.
I'm not in Africa, dude, seriously.
Yeah. She didn't want a bar of it in the beginning. She was not interested. She just wanted to keep walking, you know.
But one of my favorite sequences before another quote that comes in, but where she basically tells Capheus straight up, she's like, I don't need help, and he says, perhaps that's the problem, you know?
Yeah.
And that was really the first time we start to see, like, Sun vulnerable, and that was really, I thought that was really great.
Yeah, I mean, we were, I mean, they were showing that Sun was like greed, like, yeah, she need a lot of help, but she was like so greedy that to admit that, yeah, you need help. I mean, you can take on everything, you can cover everything. So that's amazing, yeah.
That's something. I think she one thing though, like most of the senseis, they all like let's say Wolfgang, even though he got Felix, but he's a person for himself. Son, she's also like, she's very, like, they're not really social, you know.
Yeah.
I don't see none of them like that, you know, socially involved with, like, very outgoing people. If you see them, each one of them. So I think there's something in them, like, I don't know, it's something weird. Like, they all complement each other, you know, like, it's like they found.
Yeah, there's definitely some introverts in the group and some extroverts.
Yeah.
Which, like you say, they complement each other. You know, it brings them out of their shell, and yeah.
Like one of them take the whatever, you know, struggle the other is having. It brings it out out of them. You know, like Will to Riley, Kala to Wolfgang. You know.
Yeah. Like. Kala brings a little bit of softness to Wolfgang when he's all, like, charged up, you know?
Yeah.
And then for Capheus and Sun, I think Capheus brings his optimism, which is kind of foreign to Sun, considering how she grew up and how she was unwanted by her family and stuff. So, and then actually, she literally gives him some toughness too when she does her Jean-Claude Korean lady thing. So I think it's very it's very symbiotic. A lot of the relationships in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't help but come across some articles talking about, how Sense8 is actually a bit racist and all that, and I'm like
Yeah, I've
going,
seen some.
are you kidding
It
me?
is.
Like, but at the same time, when um, then again, it's always there's going to be two different perspectives. Not everyone's going to agree with you, correct? So it was interesting. They're like, oh, they're stereotyping
The
again.
stereotyping mostly.
Yeah, going, Will is the American cop, and you got Cassius, whose mother's got AIDS, and I'm like going, well, you can't expect Carla to go and play, be in Korea fighting people or something. Come on, people.
Yeah.
Like, they can't go overboard with this show as well. They got a thing going. What is something that the audience can relate to? So, for example, Indians, if they watch the show, they can understand color situation. They can understand because it's not too far from the culture, and
Yeah.
portrayed in the movies. So that's what makes me very, you know, in regards to Sensei, I can like relate to certain things. Going, oh, it's because it's meant to be like this, so people understand, and it brings people together. They can't go overboard. Like seriously, they can't put, Sun in Germany and expect her to blow bombs and stuff. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Haters gonna hate though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna start singing
But, I mean-
Taylor Swift this episode?
Yeah.
Check it out.
We can talk about everything. Like we
But
haven't
the-
seen that in a long time.
Yeah. So.
and also to build on that point, it's like I don't think they approached it of we're gonna check off a bunch of stereotypes. It's just like what happens realistically in these locations. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Exactly.
it may be now a quote unquote stereotype, but it happens and it's happening right now. So I mean, they kept an authenticity. I think
That's
it's
right.
definitely necessary.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I would call it definitely more authentic. Yeah, for sure. Because, like I said, you cannot, put, Carla
More.
in Sun's position. Then people are gonna go, that's fake, and I'm like, yeah, it is fake. Putting Carla in the situation that she is now makes complete sense. Putting Cassius in that sort of situation. AIDS is a massive topic, and when you think about places like Nairobi, so why not bring it into people's attentions? Topics like that. People, not many people might be aware of. So I think it's educated, like it educates people. So.
Yes, that is actually a good point to see it. I don't know why people is saying that, but yes, it is the reality. The reality of each city. In the making of, they said something very important. When they were filming on each city, they were surrounded by everything. I mean, the ambient of the city, how was the city written, and that was amazing. I mean, it was very authentic and natural.
When I saw the Chicago thing, you remember I live in a city here in New Jersey, in that city it's kind of dangerous and stuff, and I see that like everything that was going on, the abandoned warehouses and stuff, they're all over the place in the big cities here in the United States. So they exist, they're there, and like if they don't use the stereotypes, what are they gonna use? Like they were using 8 people from around the world. Like what were they gonna use? It's just
Yeah.
they have to generalize.
Exactly.
They have to
Yep.
generalize to make a story. I just think like
That's right.
people just don't understand. Like they want everything so perfect, everything like this.
Yeah.
And in order to please so many people, like with different tastes, it's not gonna work. It's like people that like Sensei maybe not. We are very unique people. I will tell you like this: we're very unique.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Special.
Yes,
Special.
we're very unique. We're very unique because
Uh-huh.
that's the word I found, because we're not one of the many, out there, like all these people that are watching I like The Walking Dead. I like all those, I watch a lot of movies, but I think the Sensei group fans, they got so many other things, so many other layers to us as in our personalities, that is different than the many of them on the other shows. So
Yeah.
we got more similarities,
Yeah, so for example, like if they take one character and put him in a very different culture and whatnot, and that's the main focus, fair enough. But this show, you need to firstly be open-minded because of the whole concept, right? You got a transgender, you got a you got I don't know, like this whole Sense8 kind of thing and everything. And in that, if they throw like people they're not showing a true reflection of their culture and everything of these characters, is people are just gonna go, what the fudge, we're trying to get our head around this whole concept of a sensei, and now they're showing this culture thing, that's so different to what it's meant to be like. I think,
Exactly.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a bit way too much. It'll be way too confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that would put a lot more people off as well. I mean, if it's not
yeah,
authentic in that
exactly.
sense.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you...
Like I watched some of, sorry, I was saying that I've seen
Go
some
ahead,
of
go
the scenes that get filmed in India, and I'm like, when Carla was a child and explaining to Wolfgang about her spiritual side, and sorry, the religious side, I could go, oh yeah, when I was little, I remember that festival. I can relate to that because that's exactly how the Wachowskis did it. So the whole henna scene that actually happens. So like I'm sure each of you guys, if you from that sensei country, you can actually relate to it, and that's what makes you feel connected to the show as well, in some form, because you can go, yes, I'm from that country, I can relate to that person and their character and how they're feeling. So yeah.
Simon, you're sleeping.
No, I'm not.
Hey!
I'm just I'm listening and basically just agreeing with everything that's being said. So
I want to hear your accent. I love your accent.
Oh yeah, I love it too. Yeah.
You got the floor, Simon. Go for it.
About anything.
Evan, what's on your
Trisha.
notes? I'm curious about your notes.
I know you wanna go to the last part. You wanna go to the last.
Let's just keep it.
Gonna
So I'm like, Evan, what's on the notes?
All right, but before we get there, there's just one more thing that I want to point out with Sun and Capheus. Is one of the best quotes again that this episode is filled of them, but it was where Capheus tells Sun, who can say if it is we who make the choice or if it is the choice that makes us?
Makes us.
Yeah.
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 That was just
What do you
another
think
one of
about
those,
that,
like,
Simon?
yeah. Tell us how you really feel, Simon.
actually, this is one of the many. It's one of the quotes in Sense8 that really means something. It's really one of those important quotes, but it's actually the only one that didn't stick with me. This one. So,
Fair enough.
I would seriously think that someone else should take over right now.
Okay. Sorry, though it's funny enough, no one. You didn't mention the
talk
quote
about the
when
Trump.
Sun tells him to go away. I'm surprised everyone didn't mention the part when Sun is like telling Capheus to go away, and so Capheus like, I don't know how to.
I don't know how this works.
I remember that quote. That's
know.
not that important,
That's so
but I
funny.
remember that quote because it just goes like going, hello, I'm not like I can Star Trek, I can go in somewhere and disappear or somewhere else. Like,
Keep me
really?
up, Scotty, you know?
It's amazing, yeah.
Dear.
You know,
Yeah, sorry.
I read something about that. I don't know how to say in English. I think Claudia can help me out. I was about the bilocación, like bilocation.
What's that? I don't even know what's in
So,
Spanish.
That is actually something that
The boat?
very spiritual people do. For example, some saints. There are actually some saints and the Catholic Church that they would do that. They were actually in two places at the same time.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Yeah, it is called
didn't know
bilocation.
that.
Yeah, and it was something that only spiritual people can do. It was like a supernatural thing, and some actually some beauties do that too. And actually, I was just looking for that too, and they said that Jesus actually did that too. He was like in two places at the same time. So
Like
Wow.
astral
That,
projection.
that's a very interesting point. See, I'm learning from the show as well as from you guys too.
That's the goal.
yeah, so
Very
I
educated.
Our
yeah,
minds
so
continue to expand, you know?
yeah, I looked into it a little bit because I heard that there was a saint called San Martin, and he did that. He was actually in one place and he was in another place. I mean, that was one of the gifts that God gave him in order to be in two places. I don't know, but it is something that is there, and it's reality too.
Yeah, that's interesting because the whole sensei thing is about being in other places too. So they must have done a lot of research
Oh,
into
they
this show.
Oh,
definitely,
yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
It's yeah, yeah,
Nothing is by accident.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? You know what? I sent the wrong link to the Sensei International fans. I sent the one to join. So if Sensei International fans will see this afterwards, because I didn't send the one to view. So I'm so sorry, guys. I just gotta.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
oh, that's fine.
That's okay because we don't see anybody else here.
No,
Yeah, it was so weird.
there was
Like,
one
did you
person
guys
trying
notice
to.
some people?
There was
Yeah.
one person. Easy Gantor. I'm so sorry if you get to see this. It was my bad. I'm sending him a tweet right now.
Yeah, it was weird. Like some
Technical
people joined
difficulties.
and then dropped out, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I noticed
man."
that.
Yeah, I think it was
They
him.
must have freaked out. They're like, "Oh my God, I'm live."
Yeah.
we,
He said he was shy too. I'm so
we,
sorry.
we must have scared them away with our awesomeness. There's like, well, we can't handle this.
We were like too hot for them.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh no,
Too
the
hot to
crazy
handle.
girl is there from last week."
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, speaking
No,
of,
me.
We got
Talking about me,
Miguel,
not
we
Tony.
got Max Remelt, we got what's the other one? Catfuse, Cat, and Tina, and
Yeah.
that's how hot we are, you know, because
and speaking of things that are too hot to handle,
oh,
yeah.
Claudia's getting excited.
Bindi, she's the master. She's the
Who wants
master
to
on that stuff.
who wants to lead us off on this wedding sequence?
What part?
Okay, so
Huh?
let's start off with when they're doing the laps, right? I think
Yeah.
we should start off when
Yeah.
she actually is getting ready. And then
Like-
she goes, "Oh, the dress is very heavy. It'll be interesting if I end up fainting or something
Fainting
like
in
that."
it,
She
yeah.
makes a
Yeah.
comment, and I was like, "Going, girl, I do not blame you. I understand because I've dressed stuff like that, and it's heavy ass, right?" And then when she was doing the laps, and then you got Wolfgang swimming in the pool
Doing laps in the
naked.
pool. Yeah.
We
yeah.
see his awesome butt and everything, and then it was interesting. She goes, "We are of one mind." So when she
Yeah.
mentions that, he appears. So it's like, there you go. We are one mind people. I'm one mind with Wolfgang, and then she sees, like Claudia says, this wonderful trunk, and then she passes out. You know, and I'm like,
let me
going,
remember.
the dress or that. Like, seriously, why would you want to pass out? You know, when that's right there in front of you.
And they both passed out at the
They
same
both
time.
passed out.
You passed out.
Carla shouldn't
Everybody
have
will
passed
passed
out.
out.
Like, yeah, like going, why is Carla passed out? Because if she passes out, he's gonna pass out, right? Because
Yeah.
it's sensating. And I was like, you silly girl, I would have just ran for it.
Well, I mean, when that
Because she's
scene
not
happened,
married. She's not married, right? She's like,
Not yet. Not yet.
and
So
I'm
she's
not
still
fully
good.
committed yet.
She's like, I'm out of here. Take me to Berlin right now.
yeah,
Well, he wanted to go to India though. Like that was
Yeah.
so sweet. That was so sweet. He wanted to go to India. Did you you remember the vows that Kala was saying while on her wedding? Every
No, it was too hard to focus, Claudia. Seriously.
oh well, that was in between because it was the vows and Wolfgang swimming, right?
Yeah.
Naked swimming.
I was busy yelling at the thing, going, switch back to Wolfgang. We don't want to know what's happening in the wedding.
I was like, oh my god,
Backstroke, you know? Backstroke.
But you know he was sad, right? When he's sad and he needs to think, he gets undressed. You know, he gets naked. When he's sad and he needs to think, he gets naked. We just need to get Wolfgang.
who doesn't?
Maybe he needs to do a lot more thinking next season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder.
It was.
I want to see Lito, though.
Of course you want to see Lito. We all know it. We sent your tweets. Come on. It's a given.
When that scene happened, and he walked out of the water, and you're seeing him naked from behind, and then he walks up, and she looks down, and you're like, yeah, okay, he's naked. And then when the video, when they pan down, and you actually saw it, I was like, what the fuck? Did that actually happen? Because it's not often that you see full frontal
Thank you,
male
Netflix.
nudity in a TV show. Yeah.
Oh my
like,
god, I was
wow,
watching with my girlfriends. Yep. I was watching with my girlfriends, and we were just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But like, seriously.
Yeah.
Look, we're all so excited. We're all trying to talk about it.
You know what? I have to confess something. I just went ahead and go to that scene and pause it and just see all that.
Why you say all Sense8 secret out loud? That's supposed to be a secret.
No, but everybody
you know
knows,
what? I think they didn't do it just for the sake of just nudity or anything like that. I think it's more like to show how so different their cultures are, and I think this is dwelt in the next episode, right? When he wakes up and stuff. Because he's like, oh, Germans are fine with nudity, and that's why Carla was like, oh my god, here is a naked guy. How often do I get to see this?
Bindi, buddy, if you have Wolfgang showing up to you like that, naked with her,
don't ask me.
Are you gonna marry the guy you have next to? Just be honest. That's why
I would negotiate.
That's why they
Claudia, I would seriously negotiate. Like, I would go to him, like,
negotiate behind closed doors.
I would go, you know what? You might not see this, but there's a naked guy right in front of me. So how about I marry you because you love me so much, and I do friends with benefits there. Oh my god, this is live.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
This is how Sense works. Like Sense8 is. So
it's being honest, right?
Guys.
Yeah.
It's a
We're all about truth truth on
It's a
this show.
Sense8 relationship. I mean, like, seriously, like, how is that considered? Because if you really think about it, that means Lido had an affair with Will. You know what I mean? It was like they all are in their relationships, and this is what I
Yes,
reckon
he
we
did.
should discuss next episode. Like in Demons, like, you know, I would seriously go to Rajan and go, hey, Rajan, I'm sorry, man, but I'm connected to this guy too. So, and I would like to be connected.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey guys.
But yeah, they
I think it
showed
was
it
a really
in all its
good.
glory.
Yeah, I think it was a really good scene too to show the difference in cultures. I mean, looking at the culture in India with the weddings, I mean, there's nothing like that. You know, in India, there's nothing that compares to it. I mean, the wedding was amazing, and how long it is. And then you flip to Germany, and I think I read on one of the Facebook group maybe about how that actually is a thing in Germany, how they have the nude or the naked swimming places where you can go. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, because they don't have that where I am. Anyway, I don't know about you guys, but it definitely teaches you a lot and shows you a lot about the different cultures and what they mean and the different things they have. So definitely planning a trip to Germany. Or Berlin, yeah.
Take me with you.
Yeah.
That's also what I love about it too, because for me, Kala Gang relationship is basically the best depiction I've seen of opposites attract ever put on TV. Because they're seriously from like two different worlds, you know.
Yeah.
And still they find a way to sort of make it work in their own way.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty amazing. But you know, they were showing us like everything, their world, what they think about it. I mean, it was genius. I just my little sister.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi.
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 These guys.
Hello.
We're talking about Wolfgang's trunk. Just saying.
Oh. He's underage. You can say that.
Oh, sorry. I got drunk. I didn't say anything.
How old is she? She has to cover her ears.
Okay, Wolfgang's a pirate, and the trunk is a treasure chest. Or
Sure is a treasure chest.
I mean,
We're talking about the bazooka that he pulled out of the
Yeah, the one he has in his trunk.
yes, we just made it PG, guys, so it's fine.
And it just shoots and explodes everywhere.
Yeah, I don't
See,
think
we're
we
doing
help
a
with the
good job
bazooka
promoting.
either.
See, Evan, we're doing a good job promoting the show, like, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's talking about the trunk. That's all you.
Yeah, yeah, so the trunk scene was definitely a big shock factor, and, you know, and I keep tweeting this, but I don't know if anyone's seen it. I'm like, going, did anyone get concerned about, oh, I can hear Claudia.
No, not me. That's
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. What's that? Okay. Yeah, so what was I gonna say? I completely forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, so Wolfgang. Oh yeah, so when Wolfgang faints, I'm like going, does anyone care about his safety? I tweeted this going, guys, is he gonna hit his head on the edge of the swimming pool? Like, seriously, someone should watch.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's like exactly what he was heading for.
Yeah, exactly, because you know when he climbs up the stairs of the swimming pool, so I'm like going, if he faints, isn't he gonna hit the water and the? I'm sorry, I'm just care about Wolfgang. As a remelter, I think I should care about these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We got We gotta make sure he stays intact, you know.
Yes, fully intact. Everything. Trunk and all, Claudia.
I wonder who picked him up after that, right?
Oh, trust me, all the girls would have been. If I was there in the swimming pool, I'm like, Ronnie, I'm coming. Are you okay?
I wonder if he woke up by himself or someone woke him up. I'll volunteer next time.
Volunteer.
Yeah, it's like you'd be like, hey, he needs CPR.
Like breathing, and
I've been
like,
sending.
I'm like, no, you need CPR.
I've been sending messages to JMS that if they need a water lady anywhere, you know, you know.
Yeah, if they need a water lady, then you definitely recommended me, right?
Yeah. Of course not, Simon. Of course not. I'll be the first one.
Don't forget about me.
Well,
So while you guys
want to Berlin, so that's settled.
Makeup lady. I'll go.
I'll just be like, you know, I'll just protect him. I'll be his bodyguard, you know, like Hernando leader. I'll be Wolfgang's bodyguard. And they're like, really?
Oh, yeah.
Bodyguard.
You'd have.
Bodyguard with benefits. Remember, leader and Hernando people.
That's a good job.
Yep.
You'd have to guard.
So you guys can be the
guard
water
his body with your body.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
I just hope we get more of that on season 2.
Yeah. They have to stick by what Wolfgang said. You know, Germans are fine with nudity, and I think they should stick with that concept. You know, that could work out really, really well. That's what I believe. I strongly believe in that.
But another thing that I wondered about though is like how much do they have to go through to be able to get that scene filmed in India? Like how many legal papers do they have to sign? Or...
But you said it's illegal to be naked in India though?
Sorry, Claudia?
I think
Is it illegal to be like to show off like that in India though?
I think it's just frowned upon, I would say, and it's also like you're gonna get a lot of stares, and especially.
Yes.
I think Hetel would be in a good position to answer that question because I've been raised here.
Yeah. I know that you can't kiss in public, right? Is that in India or where is it? Like you cannot. I think everybody. No.
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll ask.
Yeah.
Hetel.
Yeah, Hetel should know. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay. Now we need to really take a breather from the whole trunk situation and just. So Evan, please tell me you said something else on your notes.
That was actually the end of it.
Yeah, that's what? Freak, what's next?
If anyone has any final thoughts before we end here.
Oh, Simon's trip to London.
Oh,
yeah, how did it go?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that didn't really go well, so I would really leave it at that.
Really?
Oh no, Simon, that's such a shame.
Sorry. I'm thinking of something like what you did, Simon. But I'm gonna let you guys know. Like I'm planning it for before second season starts. We wanna do something global, okay? Something like what you did, but global to certain cities, okay, around the world, and see if we can connect. You know, something like you did. That idea, but bring it up like a global experience, connected at the same time. But it's just like something like to promote the show for second season, and at the same time connect us with each other. But it's something in my mind with Sense8 International that we want to plan and see if it works out. Okay.
That would be epic.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Tony, I'm coming to Auckland.
Sounds good.
Welcome to Auckland.
Yeah, like hang
Okay.
out like in groups, at the same time
Mm.
and see. But
That would be epic.
yeah, like that before the season 2 starts, like a worldwide global thing for us
Mm.
sensates. See if it works, because
Yeah.
we have to have the input of everybody, to do this kind of thing. Like, Simon, I really think what you did with the Sensei Day about the shout outs. That was such a cool idea. But you
Yeah,
see,
amazing.
yeah,
Thanks. It really was a group effort, and I
yeah.
can't really say enough. Thank you enough to the guys who worked with me on making that event happen and all those things that we did on that day. So
Yeah,
yeah, thank
and
you
I
guys, really.
and I think your ideas, you got very good ideas, but we need to like start working as a team. Like, we're so many, and if we all when we all work together, things work better. So
Mm.
things
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
right.
we can make it. We can make the fandom, get really
Yeah.
Mhm.
really awesome. To have a really awesome
What what I
fan.
I'd like to be able to see in the future is have like a Sense8 type of a flight plan where you go to all 9 cities.
Oh my
I don't
God.
I don't know
Oh,
Okay, Evan, just so you know, I'm already saving up for my bailout money
like
if I get arrested when I see Wolfgang. And now I need to save up for a whole trip
do you
around
mean
all that.
do you mean when you get arrested?
I'm concerned.
okay.
No, no, yeah, that would be like I'm actually doing that in London in 2 weeks. I'm gonna plan to go to each of the cities and post up some pictures on Twitter, going, "Hey guys, I'm at Primrose Hill and stuff like that." I think that would be kind of cool. And I think if each one of us, get that opportunity to go to these
What
countries, I think it'll be really awesome that we go and visit the
what
places that
cities are you
they
going?
did the filming. I think it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna London and I'm going to Coco where Riley was the DJ. I plan to go there. I plan to go to the tavern. I think it's George's Tavern where Riley and Will met each other. And I plan to go to the Hill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Hill. Gonna go there too. So that's my plan, and fingers crossed everything goes according to plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
and next
Cool.
week I'm hoping to go to the Mexican festival, wear a t-shirt that goes Team Lido behind, like on my back, and
Yeah.
then just go
Yeah.
around
Yes,
and maybe
yes.
ask some random guys going, "Do I know you? Have we met?"
Evan,
Okay, I shouldn't really
Impossibility
not
is
do
only
these
a
things.
kiss away from reality.
No, I
Definitely
can't
will
get
be the race
arrested. Yeah, exactly. Thank you,
Or
Tony.
Bindi, or you can say something like "Te conozco."
yeah, do I know you? That's
Oh
great.
yeah, I need to like practice my Spanish. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
great.
Yeah, so it should be
But
very good. Like, yeah.
all right, I guess
Okay.
that wraps it up for
Guys.
us. Thank you guys again for joining me this. And for anyone who missed this live broadcast, you can catch it on the YouTube channel, which is going to be uploaded shortly. And remember, you are no longer just you. Wave to the camera,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
See you guys.
See you.
Bye.
Goodbye now.
Night.